Hey guys, it's me, ExandShadow, just with a quick unscripted ramble fest for you, because you guys all love unscripted ramble fests, totally. I actually shouldn't be doing this right now, I've got homework to do, but I feel like being a procrastinator, so whatever. Anyway, I was reading an IGN article on Metroid Other M. This doesn't actually have anything to do with IGN themselves, this was just an information article about the release date. And I was reading some of the comments, and I heard a lot of people complaining about Other M before it was released, mind you, about how it had story elements and about how it's going to be similar to Fusion, and they didn't like Fusion because it had story and it was linear and blah, 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 blah. Now, in case you haven't known, Fusion is my first Metroid game, and thus I'm incredibly nostalgic over it, and it's a really big part of my childhood. One of the first very scary games I've ever played. But Fusion is an awesome game. If you haven't played it, go play it right now. But a lot of people really didn't like Fusion, and I don't see why. I guess they didn't like how linear it was, but the thing is that with Metroid, it never really was a non-linear game. It was a linear game where you didn't know where the line was. Let me explain. In a Metroid, you always, unless if you're a speedrunner, you always have to go from one item to the next in the same order every time you play. That's pretty much linear. The only thing is that you don't know where you're supposed to go. It's like a Sonic game where you have 3 routes, and if you go in 2 of them, you just go to a dead end and you have to go back and go into the right one. It doesn't make much sense. And the thing is that because people are really complaining about there being something different about this Metroid game, I'm starting to feel that Nintendo fans still aren't accepting of change. And now this isn't news to anyone. Everybody knows that whenever Nintendo tries to change anything with their games, people don't like it. For example, when Majora's Mask came out for the GameCube, people hated that game because it wasn't like a normal Zelda game. Now, personally, I hate that game because it frustrates me, but that's a different rant altogether. But also, when Wind Waker came out, people complained because it just looked different, and that's kind of stupid because I always liked the Wind Waker art style. It looked cutesy and neat, and it's way better than the dark, angsty, serious, hardcore look that the rest of the games seem to have. But I could also go on with Mario 2, the Doki Doki Mario 2, and Super Mario Sunshine. But the thing is that Nintendo fans can't embrace change. If you look at the Sonic fan base, they're willing to at least remain slightly hopeful for games that come out. Like, for example, when Sonic and the Black Knight was announced, people were like, oh, this is ridiculous. But there was at least a sizable margin that said it might be an okay game. A side note, Sonic and the Black Knight is actually a decent game. I'd pick it up. Well, rent it. I'd rent it if you could. But the thing is that most other fans will at least accept some sort of change. The Phoenix Wright community is excited about the new Phoenix Wright game, even though it's going to be very different. From what I've seen of Trauma Team, the Trauma Center fans are excited for that game, even though it's going to be different. But when I look at Metroid Other M, one of Nintendo's biggest releases, which normally people would be excited for, people are complaining that it's going to be different, and that's bullcrap. Different is good. Let's think about it. Super Mario Galaxy was a good game, but it wasn't anything new. Yeah, you could go around in circles on planets, but that actually ended up more frustrating than fun in a lot of cases. Twilight Princess was basically the same game over and over again. It was a copy of Ocarina of Time, which was a copy of Link to the Past. And people seem to eat that up too, even though it's the same exact thing. You can't have the same exact thing over and over again. Otherwise, Nintendo won't ever do anything new, and then we'll just keep on complaining. It just goes in a cycle because a large majority of the fan base won't accept any sort of change, and it frustrates me. That's why we get games like Mega Man 10 and New Super Mario Bros. Now, New Super Mario Bros. Was an okay game, but it didn't do anything. It was just a game that you've already played. The DS version is way superior to the Wii version, and I'm tired of this. But anyway, I'm rambling. As you already know, this video is titled Ramble, so you should be expecting that. Yeah, but I'm really excited for Other M. It looks like it's going to be an awesome game with connections to Fusion, which was another awesome game. But just at least try to give it a chance. Look at some of the footage before you say, oh, it sucks because it's going to be different. Of course it's going to be different. That's what's going to make it new and original. If we just have Super Metroid copied and pasted over and over again, the impact that it has every time won't make any sense, and it won't be good. It's like, Yeah, I'm rambling even more than normal. I'm just gonna end this now, but just try not to ask for the same thing over and over, because if you ask for the same thing over and over, that's all you're ever going to get. And at this point, we need Nintendo to supply us with new crap. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching me ramble about nothing. Hopefully, I'll have some real videos up soon.